Good morning, starshines. My name is DH. My pronouns are they, them. And this is the Cozycast, episode 10? Yes, according to my notes, it's episode 10. Wow, I can't believe we're up to 10 episodes already. Well, welcome. If you are not familiar with the Cozycast, this is my little corner of the internet where I talk about the projects that I have going on. I mostly cross-stitch these days with a little bit of knitting. I'll let you know what our small community is up to, and I'll also give you some updates on my chronic health condition. I am disabled due to long COVID, and yeah, I like to talk about it because I don't feel like people are talking about it. And if you are chronically ill, especially if you have something like long COVID, which is difficult to diagnose and difficult to convince people exist, I hope you will stick around and enjoy the content. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Yes, I did get new glasses. Do you like them? I like them. I think they're cute. Anyways, so today is Friday, July 5th. I'm filming this in the morning, so the next pattern drop for Lola Crow Deadly Aquarium has not come out yet. I am going to show you that later on. So why don't we jump right into the projects? All right, let's start with whips. The first project I'm going to show you, I almost delayed filming this because it's only going to be a whip for like a couple more days. I have less than 1,000 stitches left on it, and I am highly motivated to finish it. In fact, I'm going to finish it before I start the Lola Crow clue. This is the stick, the Lola Crow is the carrot, and that is Kyrie and Sora. So this is a pattern from Needleminder's Lair. This is what it looks like. And this is for a good friend of mine, my bestie, who I think watches this channel but still hasn't figured out that this is for them. And this is how far along we are. We are so close. Like I said, we are less than 1,000 stitches from being finished. And as you can see, it's really just filling in this bit here and then little bits here. I have 3 colors left, and yeah, it's so close. It's so close I can taste it. I have really enjoyed doing this project. This is actually a project that got me back into cross stitching earlier this year. I learned how to cross stitch when I was a kid, and then just didn't do it for many years. And then I kind of got back into it around 2010, around there. Got back out of it, got back into it around 2018. Got back out of it, and then now I am heavily back into the cross stitch bug. So yeah, so this was the first project that I picked up on this new tear, and it's actually Toot showed me this pattern and was like, this would be great for your bestie, and I agreed, and kind of immediately started it without thinking of the consequences. So this is the one that started it all this time around anyways. So yeah, there we go. Kyrie and Sora. It's going to be really close. Next time you see this, it will be a finish. I'm hoping next time you see this, it's not going to just be a finish. It's going to be a fully finished. I have to figure out how I'm going to finish it. I think it's going to fit in a 12 by 12 frame, but I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, we'll see. I want to make it something easy to hang, because the person I'm sending it to, I want them to just be able to stick it up on their wall. All right, so this was Kyrie and Sora. Again, the pattern is from Needleminder's Lair. This light blue Ada is just an Ada from Amazon. I think the brand name is Dawn Man. It's 14 count, and I used all the called for DMC. So the next whip that I've been working on is one that kind of has a bit of an interesting history. I'm going to be talking about Those Who Wait, and this is by Heather of Stitchwit. This is what it's going to look like. Now, Heather, as you know, we are huge Stitchwit fans here in the Cozy DH community. Stitchwit.ca for all your cross-stitching needs. Heather's fantastic. Like, Heather is great. And she sent me this kit to test stitch for her. So the kit came with 14 count ivory Zweigart, and I just wasn't happy with the coverage I was getting on the 14 count, because as you can see, a lot of it is the dark blue. So I actually found a piece of 18 count Zweigart, restarted it. Wasn't really clicking with me. It's a lot of really long rows, and I used to stitch exclusively Danish. I didn't really realize there was another way to stitch. And then I saw a video by Thread the Needle, which I think I'm going to link below. But Thread the Needle did a great video on her preferred method of doing full coverage, which this is basically full coverage, and that is cross country on the diagonal. I don't know what it was, but this method just clicked with me so fast and so hard that this project went from being one that I was kind of dreading working on to being one that I am absolutely obsessed with. So I am now further along than I was when I initially put this down. And as you can see, so I had started doing this reddish orange, the 900, in just trying to see if I can get some slightly better light. Fix it in post. This reddish orange first, and then I was just filling in the dark blue in these huge long lines, which was just, it was a grind. So then I tried the diagonal by cross country method, which is why I'm getting this very nice sharp defined line there. Let's see if you can get a little bit of a better view there. I love it. It's so satisfying, and I think it'll be really good for full coverage in that you get to see kind of different parts of the pattern working on the diagonal, but it's not diagonal by page or diagonal by block. So it feels really fast and like potato chippy, like I can just do one more, I can just do one more, I can just do one more. And also doing cross country really suits my brain. There's no parking in this method. You could park if you wanted to. I am choosing not to, just because a lot of dangling threads is a lot of possible things that cats could chew on. Our children are terrible and will chew, lick, nuzzle, somehow ingest floss or yarn that's left unattended. And I don't really want to have to take them to the vet for that. So, yeah. So this is Those Who Wait. It is out of the hoop at the moment. I am planning on gridding it using monofilament. I did attempt to grid it, which is, you can kind of see some enlarged holes there where I tried to grid it. I was using the wrong monofilament. It didn't really work. So I'm going to grid it. I'm going to grid the entire thing, which is why it's out of the frame. And then this one is probably going to go right back into rotation because, like I said, I've been absolutely obsessed with it. I cannot stop stitching on it. Like, I had to force myself to stop and work on something else, which is why Kyrie isn't finished yet, because I got completely sidetracked by working on this for so long. This is also my first big 18 count project, and I am absolutely loving it so far. I think 16 count is kind of my sweet spot in terms of size for full coverage. I don't know if I do another full coverage on 18, but I am really enjoying it. I've got another pattern, another project on 18 I'm going to show you in a minute here. But yeah, so this is Those Who Wait by Stitchwit. It's on 18 count ivory Zweigart. I'm using the called for DMC. Happy. So I had mentioned that I ended up gridding another project, and the project that I ended up gridding is Celtic Witch by Raven Coven. I adore Raven Coven as a designer. I've communicated with her a couple times over email. She's great. Celtic Witch is one of her favorite patterns. She says it doesn't get a lot of love, so I'm giving it a lot of love. This is what the pattern looks like. And as you can see, it's done in shades of gray and black, and it is full coverage as charted. This is what mine looks like fully laid out with the grid. So here's, I put it back in the frame, but I'm gonna leave this up because it's just easier to talk about it. So you can see I'm about 30% of the way through. I'm using this dyed Space Ada, or printed Space Ada from Amazon. It's 14 count. As you can see, I didn't leave myself much of a margin because the piece of Ada came this big. Like, this is how big it was. I didn't cut it. So it has been a bit of a struggle. You can see that, hello, this is the edge of the Ada, and it doesn't quite fit into the Q-snap. So it's not as tight in the Q-snap as I would like, but we're rolling with it. So anyway, back to this picture. So I'm about 30% of the way through. I am not stitching the black stitches. The black I am leaving unstitched so that that space Ada comes through. I might add a few more details. You can see that there's a section of brown that is meant to be part of the Celtic braid, and I'm not super happy with how it's turning out. I'm going to stitch the section below it. If I need to add a bit more detail, I can do that. But yeah, so I fully gridded this one. I used a high visibility monofilament fishing line. And I really like the way that it turned out. It was really nice and light. It was easy to work with. And yeah, I think it was just, it worked out really, really well. So I gridded like all the parts that I haven't finished, which is one entire side, the bottom, and then this very small 7x3 section just to the side of her face. So I'm going to finish that 7x3 section the way I've been doing it because I already started it. So then that's just kind of cross country as it comes because it is such a small section. But then once I've finished that, I am going to start the diagonal by cross country method, the cross country by diagonal method up in the left hand corner and fill out the rest of it that way. And I'm really, really excited. So that's why she's in the frame. As soon as I finish Kyrie, this is going to be one of my focus pieces because I really want to get that little section done so I can move on to doing the full coverage method. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. I love this pattern. I've been calling it Celtic Goddess on the Raven Coven site, and the Etsy I believe is called Celtic Priestess. But the files and the designer refer to it as Celtic Witch. And Raven Coven just released a Pride pattern on the Patreon, which the Patreon is new, and I have access to that. And she put out this, which is amazing, and I almost started it right away. Like I'm feeling a little bit stressed about the number of whips that I have. Not necessarily stressed, but maybe like a little bit overwhelmed, and I'm not happy about the level of whips that I have. Everybody has a different comfort level of whips, and I have surpassed mine. So I want to get a few things finished before I start anything new. But let me tell you how tempted I was by this pattern, because I love it. I love it. So yeah, possible future start. Okay, so that was Celtic Witch. The next one that I've been working on is Deadly Aquarium, which, as you know, is a stitch along by Lola Crow. We're getting new exhibits every week. Couple breaks, but basically every Friday we're getting a new exhibit. We are on exhibit 5. So let me see if I can show you this whole thing because it's currently out of the frame. I think that's as good as we're going to get. So yeah, so this is Deadly Aquarium. We have the latest exhibit was the coral in the middle here, which was a pain. So the exhibit right before that was 3 fish and the sea lettuce, which was a lot of fun to do. Like we've got a little obnoxious here and a lionfish, and my absolute favorite buddy, I hope that's focusing, is the stonefish there. I love him. I love him. So that clue was a lot of fun, and I did it, like I did each individual fish individually, so that made it like really fast and potato chippy to just, I'm just gonna do a little bit, I'm just gonna do a little bit, I'm just gonna do a little bit. This coral, the actual stitching didn't take very long, but I'm gonna try and hold it up so you guys can see the back stitching. Let's see. My lighting isn't the best right now, but I hope you can see that back stitching. Friends, when I tell you it took an entire Final Destination movie to finish the back stitching, and I had to take a break because my hand was hurting. It looks incredible. It looks incredible. I don't know if I've forgiven Lola Crow for it yet. I honestly don't know, because it's just, it's gorgeous. But it was so much backstitching. And backstitching through fully stitched areas, which is my least favorite backstitching to do. But anyway, I did it. It's beautiful. I'm very excited for the next clue to drop today. Hopefully in about 4 hours, I'm thinking. So, but like I said, I am going to get Kyrie and Sora done before I let myself work on the next Deadly Aquarium exhibit. All right, so we did skip a week, so it's been actually 3 weeks since the last Cozycast, which means that I've had a couple of new starts that I haven't told you guys about. And I was very surprised about that because I feel like I've been working on them forever, but apparently not. So one of them is cross stitch and one of them is actually knitting. I was horribly peer pressured by a wonderful member of the community, Potato Shoe, into starting a new knitting project. So, and by horribly peer pressured, I mean Potato Shoe showed me a beautiful pattern and I had to make it like immediately. If you've watched some of the older knitting videos on the channel, you'll know that I've been working very, very slowly on the Me Made Wardrobe project, which I have a bunch of whips and then I had a bunch of plans. And in those plans, I basically had like, okay, I have this sweater quantity. I want to make this type of garment with it. So this project happened to fit into one of those categories really well. So this pattern is Stellar Sailor by Paul Hassemeyer. This is what the sweater looks like. So it's a traditional Aran. You've got braid cables, you've got honeycomb cables, you've got knot cables or twist cables, and then it's got this really cool kind of larger bubble motif going on. And as soon as I saw it, I absolutely fell in love. And I'm actually not so surprised that I fell in love with this because in, I believe not the most recent issue of Knitty, but the issue before that, there was a cabled sweater that I absolutely fell in love with, and it's the same designer. And that was When Harry Met Lucy. This is the sweater. I think that the photography for this one was just so well done. But it is a bulky weight sweater. I didn't have the yarn for it, and it didn't really fit into my plans. So it just kind of hung out on my favorites list without any concrete plans to make it. But Stellar Sailor, like I said, fits right in with my existing making plans. I did make a few modifications because, as you know, I've been having difficulty working in the round. So I modified it to be knit flat, which really wasn't difficult. Basically, instead of doing the body as a tube, I'm doing the front as one piece and the back as one piece. And that's the only modification I'm making. When you do that modification, though, just to mention, you do need to cast on 2 extra stitches because you'll want a selvage stitch on each end. So this is how it's looking. It is very scrunched up, but it does fit me. I have put it on a barber's cord. But yeah, like look at that beautiful texture I'm getting. You see how much I can scooch, safely. But like, look at that gorgeous texture. Oh, I'm so happy with it. So I am working up the size 6, which I'm doing the size 6 because I swatched on 5.5 millimeter needles, which is what the pattern called for. And I didn't get gauge. My gauge was significantly larger. However, I was really happy with the fabric I was getting, so I wanted to stick with that. This yarn is Lion Brand Heartland in the color Grand Canyon. It's a 100% acrylic yarn, which I usually use acrylic, and it is sold as like a medium weight worsted. I would say it's on like the heavy end of Aran, light end of bulky, honestly. Like I've seen yarns sold as bulky that are about as thick as this. So the 5.5 works really well. It's giving a really nice squishy texture. Like I would even go up to a 6 for this yarn and still get a nice, like, comfortable fabric. But I'm absolutely loving it. I love the stitch definition I'm getting. It looks so squashy and cozy. So this is how far I've gotten. It's this is the front. I've done about 6 inches. So yeah, I'm going to do the front and the back first, and then I'm going to seam those together so that I have the spacing for the armholes correct before I do the sleeves. Also, I believe the sleeves are picked up and knit, not knit separately and then seamed, so I would have to sew it together before I do the sleeves anyways, but that's a long way in the future. I basically only knit when I really kind of get the bug for it. I did like 4 rows last night because I just suddenly felt like knitting. So this is going to be a long-term project. I suddenly got the bug for knitting last night because Michelle May, the Giddy Stitcher, shared a phenomenal whip that she's working on, which is one of the Jessie made halter tanks. Oh, so good. And really made me want to immediately cast on a Jessie made project, which I still might do. Because I was thinking, like, I'm like, I've made a Jessie made my little secret crop, something like that, for Toot, but I made it too large. So it's cute, but it doesn't quite fit her the right way. And then, so I was thinking, and I was talking to her, and she's like, well, I don't really need any more. And then I realized that I could knit one for myself. I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to knit tank tops for myself. So honestly, that might be happening soon. I haven't managed to talk myself out of it yet. And the nice thing about Jessie Maids is because they have so much negative ease, it's a lot fewer stitches to cast on. So yeah, so that is Stellar Sailor by Paul Hassemeyer, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So the other new start that I've done, and this is a shop sample actually, so this is one of my own designs, but I had this idea and I kind of immediately had to start it. So I immediately started on linen, and here's a picture of my attempt on linen, which looks absolutely gorgeous. The rich berry tones that I chose on the pink linen for a sampler style pattern, it looks really, really good. I hated working on linen. Like, I hated it. It did not jive with my brain. I didn't enjoy the process of it, and I realized that I didn't need to. So I kind of did this alphabet and then decided that I was done. So what I did was I did the alphabet. I'm going to keep the alphabet because it is super cute and it's just like a nice little bit of fabric. So I'm not ripping that out. I'll probably keep it as is. But I restarted it on an 18 count Aida. I think Aida is just my happy place, and I think I'm okay with that. An 18 count oatmeal Aida from Loops and Threads. And I did, so I've started the border. So instead of the alphabet, I started with the border. So I've actually done this whole border. We've got a watermelon up in the corner, and then I'm starting to work the border this way. So I'm going to do the whole border first, and then I'm going to fill it in. And this is Fruit Bat Summer. It is a like sampler, but it is based on Toot's love of summer fruits. So a few years ago, she was making a hot girl summer joke, and she was like, "Hot girl summer? No, it's Fruit Bat Summer." And our friends have just been bringing it back since then, which is super cute. So Toot is the fruit bat in the summer. This design is going to be full of fruit. It's got a couple of alphabets. It says Fruit Bat Summer. It's got a couple of bats on it, and there's so many different fruits on it. And I'm using some really lovely colors. I've got 3 different greens. I've got like 5 different pinks, and a couple of blues. It's really pretty. So look for this one in the shop hopefully soon. As soon as I finish Kyrie, This one is going to get most of my attention because it's only about 4,000 stitches total, so I've only got about 3,000 stitches left to go, which really won't take me that long. It's not a huge sampler, especially on this 18 count. But yeah, so you can see we've got some strawberry vines going on there, and then there's a watermelon here, and there's going to be a watermelon bit there. So yeah, Fruit Bat Summer. I love this piece. It's so cute. So I hope to have more of this to show you very, very soon. And again, it's 18 count oatmeal Ada from Loops and Threads, and it is done in DMC. All right, so that's all the whips right now. As you can see, I only have a few things in the frame. I'm trying to limit how many things I'm actively working on so that I can actually get some stuff done. Also, I'm okay working in hoops, but I just don't care for them as much as the frames, and I have that 10-inch hoop that Kyrie is in, but we actually bought that to frame something, and I'd like to use it for framing something. And otherwise I have 6-inch hoops, which are they're a little bit too tiny. So yeah, so once I get Kyrie finished, I'm hoping to only have 2 projects like actively on the go at a time. But then Deadly Aquarium always throws that off because my whips always feel like I'm working on 2 things plus 1. Because with Deadly Aquarium, I can't work on it all of the time, so it doesn't really feel like a whip because I can't work on it. So yeah, it's different. So that's all the whips. Whips, new starts. I have a couple of little finishes. They're just little tiny shop samples. So this is my Tiny Horrors Chucky. These guys, I don't even know if it's going to focus. Let's see if it focuses without my face. I don't know. So these guys, my Tiny Horrors, they are super cute, super small. They're about 300 to 400 stitches. I have several of them up in the coffee shop and the Etsy shop, and I'm going to be having more done. I love working on them. They're itty bitty, and they come from the heart. I was making a big list of like famous horror movies that I could do characters from, and I realized that I didn't really want to do characters from all of these different horror movies. I just wanted to do the ones that I love. So we've got Chucky, there's Michael Myers, there's Ghostface, there's Beetlejuice. In the same style, I have my BFF Giorgio Tsoukalos, and of course the Valorant agents are this style as well. So yeah, so just a little quick shop sample. It took me like a few hours to do. Another shop sample that didn't take me very long to do is this month's freebie. So I am trying to release free patterns on the coffee shop. I have 3 free patterns, I have 3 free knitting patterns and 3 free cross stitch patterns. That sentence was really hard to say. They're available on the coffee shop. You can go check them out. And they will be free forever. So this is July's freebie, and it's just a little guy. This one's called Raccoon Wife. If you've played the Stardew Valley 1.6 update, you may have seen that you get some new neighbors. No real spoilies, but this is one of your new neighbors. And yeah, so it's actually part of a series of designs. So this one is free, just the little raccoon wife. If you want to stitch the entire raccoon family, I have 2 different patterns for you. One is a much larger full coverage piece, and one is like a cropped version of that. So yeah, those were the new releases on the shop, which was actually the first piece of community news. So we've already kind of started community news. So shop update. Go check out the shop, Coffee, and Etsy. Thank you. The rest of community news now. All right, so the other piece of community news is I am gathering submissions for an upcoming video that is going to be a community showcase. We have so many talented people in this community. I always say it's a small community, but it's the best place on the internet to hang out. Honestly, it really is. And we have so many talented artists. crafters, creatives of all kinds. We hang out in a Discord server. If you're not a Discord user, I know it can feel overwhelming. It's basically like a real-time chat, something like Skype, or, you know, MSN used to be back in the day. But yeah, if you want to check it out, the link to join the Discord server is going to be in the description below. And if you want to be featured on the community showcase, you can, there's going to be a channel in the Discord server with all of the information. But basically, coming up at the beginning of August, I'm going to be putting together a video. It's not going to be my work, it's going to be your work. All of your work. The amazing, amazing people that make up this community. I just want to show off the things that you've been doing, the things that you've been making. And I just think it's going to be a lot of fun. So check out the Discord. It's going to be, I'm going to make an announcement post and create the channel later today. So it will be up by the time this video goes out on Wednesday. And that video is going to go up beginning of August. So you've got until the end of July to get in your submissions. So yeah, go check out the Discord for all of that, for all the details on that cool video coming up. The other little bit of community news, and this is kind of more of a channel shout out. Midnight Crazy is a streamer friend of mine that I've been hanging out a lot with recently. You know that I enjoy watching Moonphased play Valorant while I'm stitching. It's one of my favorite background noises, background company to have. I'm going to link Midnight Crazy's Twitch and YouTube in the description below. He's hilarious. He's a good time. He's just really chill and really good company. Again, he plays Valorant and Overwatch and things like that, but he also started a Pokemon Nuzlocke for Brilliant Diamond, and he decided to name his Pokemon after people in the chat. So say hello to Cozycast DH. Yes, I am a Zubat because I am blind. I can't see the big E. But yes, he caught a Zubat, he trained it up, and then he decided to send it out against a Geodude. Why? I perished. Cozy Zoo DH Bat is no more. But that just, like, it made my day. It was so much fun. And his starter, he went with Turtwig, which is this guy, and he decided to name it Tootwig, which is just too cute. Too cute. So yeah, so go check out Midnight Crazy. Great friend of the channel, and I'm really enjoying hanging out with him. Which means we have come to the chronic illness update. Like I said at the top of the video, I am chronically ill, I am disabled, and I like talking about it because I want other people to feel like they can talk about it and that they can be seen and heard and understood, and that this is a safe place for them to talk about their struggles and what they're going through and that kind of thing. I am a healthcare professional. I am not your healthcare professional, however. So everything that I talk about medically is about myself, and this is what's working for me. This is not advice. This is not things I think that you should try. This is just stuff for me. So we've had a busy couple months on the healthcare front. New glasses for both myself and Toot. Toots look really good. I'm going to see if she's going to let me put in a picture of her wearing them. If not, there will be no picture here. If there is, there will be a picture here. All right. Other than new glasses, we have finally actually submitted our applications for government disability support. Our family doctor is super, super supportive, and we finally managed to get all of our documents together, got everything we needed from him, and he is basically assembling and sending our complete medical files. My application alone is over 300 pages, as it includes every consult and test I've done since January of 2022. Because I became acutely ill in August, at the end of August of 2022. I I was a PSW, which is a support worker, otherwise known as a nurse aide. It's a very active physical job, and that's what I was doing right up to the end of August. Um, I was healthy, I was active, I was, walking 5Ks for fun, and suddenly became disabled, like overnight, basically. Uh, so that is why we've applied for support. And that is why there are so many test results, because I have seen so many doctors and done so many tests. Um, but yeah, we're really grateful to our family doctor for helping us with that process and supporting us through that process and being just super understanding. He's great. Uh, the it is an upsetting process applying for disability support, because you basically have to make the case that you're not doing well, which is kind of the opposite of what we've always been taught to do. Because when people ask you how you're doing, they don't want an honest answer. They want to hear, yeah, I'm good. And in the disability application, you have to talk about how not good you're doing. Um, you have to talk about, like, I struggle with cooking a meal for myself because I can't stand for longer than 5 minutes. I deal with cognitive issues, brain fog, fatigue, fainting, seizures, all kinds of stuff that affect my daily life. And you have to go through and list every single one of these. And then when you get through to the end of that, you get to the diagnosis phase, and you have to say whether your condition is improving, getting worse, or stabilizing. And it's very upsetting when you have to say that your condition is getting worse, that you are trending downwards. When you're young, when you were healthy not too long ago, um, it's upsetting. And that was really hard. That was really hard for both of us. But we did it. We got through it, and we have the support of our chosen family, and we're gonna get through it. It's gonna be fine. I did see a new psychiatrist who is making some recommendations on changing up my meds. So we'll see how that goes. I haven't really had a change to my depression and anxiety meds in several years. So if you are on medication for depression, anxiety, mood disorders, that kind of thing, you probably know that what used to work for you might not no longer work for you, and it's kind of a moving target, and you have to maybe change things up to try new things. So that's what we're going to do. We're doing it real slow. We don't want to introduce too many medications at the same time, and basically give myself a chance to do science. Um, so, take the new meds, write down what I'm feeling, that kind of thing. I'm also upping my ADHD meds, and uh, experimenting with lowering the amount of citric acid I am drinking in the mornings or consuming in the mornings, because that has been shown in some people to have an effect on the effectiveness of ADHD meds. So basically, I'm doing med science, um, trying to make some med changes and diet changes, just to basically make my medication as effective as possible, um, and writing down the results so that I have something like physical that I can track. So yeah, so that is the chronic health update. Sorry, it was a little bit of a longer one. Um, I think that's all I have for you guys this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry that there wasn't a video last week. It was such a crazy week. We got to Tuesday morning. I hadn't filmed anything. I hadn't edited anything. I was like, I can't. I need a break. So, but I have lots of awesome videos lined up for you coming up soon. I'm getting back into it, really enjoying the swing of writing videos, filming, editing, that kind of thing. So definitely keep an eye on the channel. If you are not subscribed, you should subscribe. And actually, right about now, you are going to see some buttons popping up around my head. If you hit this one, you'll subscribe to the channel. If you hit one of these, you'll go to another one of my Cozycasts or another cool video. And as always, my friends, I will see you in the Discord. I'll see you in the comment section. I'll see you in the live streams. But most importantly, I will see you in my heart. All right. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.